Hey everybody, this is Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life here for another everyday inspiration. This time we are using inspiration from a photo that Daisy chose. This is a shelf in her house somewhere. It's really fun, lots of inspiration. And I was immediately drawn to the mom that was on the top shelf, and there was a pig in front of it. And it made me think of doing the M and the two M's and combining that with a doily for the O, and then I'll put my photos in the middle of that. So I traced out my M's and I struggled. I am using my stash kit for the month of June. I struggled on creating them, and so I had some issues and I just didn't show you all of that. What ended up happening is I was making them too big, so it wasn't going across the 12 by 12. I finally was able to slim them down and create what I was wanting to do, but I kind of ruined like 2 sheets of pattern paper, which was a little frustrating, but that's okay. I still have plans on how I'm going to use them in my stash kit, so I'll show you that at a later date. And then I went ahead and stitched around both the M's in black. I wanted to really help them pop up, and I really love that. And then I found these 2 strips are part of my first accident of trying to make the M's. And I wanted to bring in some colors from them. So I'm taking my mermaid markers and I just took the 2 colors that looked closest to them. And I'm just going to do just a little bit of a watercolor effect around the stitching. It's pretty subtle really in the end, but I did like having that little pop of color next to the pattern paper that's going to be placed on top of it. I really do like the purple more than I like the way my teal goes. I had a little struggle with the teal because I didn't have the exact right colors, but in the end it all works out just fine, and I just had fun. Again, I was just playing. I am using some watercolor paper, so I didn't have to back it with gesso or anything like that. I could just play. So there's that one, and I'm really pleased with the way that one looks. And then I go and try, like I said, to use the teals, but I don't have exactly the right color, so I have to mix a few. But it all works out, and it's fine. It's just was a little bit of a struggle. But my idea here is because I have a boy and a girl, I wanted to be able to highlight that with my color scheme. So it's kind of like the left-hand side is the girly colors and representing Nora, and the left-hand side is the tealy green color, which is representing Jackson. And that was kind of how I was trying to go about it. And my title is going to be Mom Life. And I haven't added journaling yet, but it's just basically going to talk about how selfies are part of life with my little ones and just all the little things that take up my day being a mom. So it's something that it kind of is like my Mother's Day layout for the year, maybe, I guess you could say. I wasn't really sure the reason behind the layout. I just was really drawn, like I said, to the inspiration from the photo and just kind of went with it. So you can see I'm testing it, still not in love with it. So I ended up going in with a little bit of white acrylic paint to help soften it, and that definitely helped, and I was much happier with that final result. Of course, however, using the white acrylic paint, it does cover a little bit of the stitching I did, but you know what? It doesn't matter. You're not going to notice it. You notice it when you're scrapping and while you're doing the project, but 2 weeks later when you go back to review it, you hardly even notice all those little mistakes that you think that you made, so just go with it. So I picked my 2 photos. One is me holding Nora and one with Jackson. The one of Nora is quite old. She was still quite a little baby there, but I really love that photo, so I went ahead and went with that. And then I love that selfie of Jackson and I. It's a pretty fun one. And I spelled out the word life. Of course, I didn't have an L, so I used a 7, but it works. I just kind of go with it. I do want a little bit of added interest behind my photos, so I'm adding some pattern paper. All of that, again, is from my stash kit. And then I took the one of the words that I used to spell the word mom, and I fussy cut out all the really pretty circles in that pattern paper, and I'm going to make just a diagonal line with them. I'm really loving the way this turns out, but I do think that it's missing a little something. Like it's really neat, but it just needs more. So my idea then comes into adding some more stitching with repeating the same kind of pattern. So there's going to be teal through the top diagonals that are on the right hand side, and then there's going to be a pinky purple color on the left hand side, again to represent girl versus boy. I have one of each, and I really love the way this turns out. I think it really helped pop it, and it was definitely needed because it was missing a little bit. So adding this little added touch really kind of helped, and I love it. So yes, this layout is very heavily hand stitched, but I just went with it and I played, and it did take me a while, but I don't mind layouts that take me a while. So I just play. Before I forget, please don't forget to go check out everybody else's takes. I'm sure they're fabulous, and I'm really excited to see what everyone does. So you've got Daisy, who did the inspiration for this month. Of course, there's Crystal and Jennifer and Dolly, and we have Lisa joining us now too, which she kind of joined us after the very first episode, but she is part of this now. So that means instead of having, I think there's 6 of us now, right? There was 6 and now there's 7 of us or something like that. So you'll have a video for each of us sharing the inspiration piece. So just stay tuned for all of that. I'm just going to wrap up here. I add a little bit of embellishment where that little gap is, because I was thinking I would journal there, but then I was like, that'll look funny. That'll totally be off. So I ended up finding a piece of ephemera that says just love, and I felt like that fit really well. And then I finished everything off with a little bit of splatters because it just needed a little bit more. It was too basic for me. So thanks everyone so much for watching. You can check out my Instagram if you would like a closer look at the layout. It is pretty basic, but I definitely was drawn to that mom on the inspiration piece, and I just totally went with it, and I love the way it turned out. You're going to see the inspiration piece one more time, and let me know what you are drawn to and what you would do if you had to use this inspiration to scrap. I'd love to hear in the comments below, and we'll see everyone next month with another episode of Everyday Inspiration. Here's a look at my final layout. Bye!